If you withdraw $20,000 from your 401k, how could the IRS end up taxing you like you took out $37,000? That sounds impossible, but it happens all the time when people turn on their retirement income in the wrong order. Today we are breaking down the 401k versus Social Security versus pension decision, and most importantly, what order you should claim these paychecks, because the sequence matters way more than most people realize. If you are not subscribed to this channel yet, hit that subscribe button right now, because we cover Social Security news and retirement updates every week that can save you thousands of dollars. Subscribe now so you do not miss critical information like this. Let me walk you through exactly how this works. In retirement, most people have some combination of 3 different paychecks coming in. They are all income, but they are not the same kind of income, and they do not play by the same rules. That is really important to understand, because that is exactly why people get burned. When you understand how each paycheck works and how they interact with each other, the right claiming order becomes obvious. Your first paycheck is your 401k or traditional IRA. These are your standard retirement accounts, and they are the most controllable levers you have. You control when you take the money out and how much you take once you are past the age rules. The flip side is that every dollar you pull out is generally taxed as ordinary income unless it is a Roth account. The IRS treats a withdrawal from a 401k or traditional IRA a lot like a paycheck from work. Remember, these were tax-deferred accounts where you contributed pre-tax dollars, and those dollars have never been taxed. The tax bill comes due when you withdraw. Your second paycheck is Social Security. You can turn this on early at 62. You can wait until your full retirement age, or you can delay all the way to 70 for maximum benefits. For many people, Social Security is the foundation of retirement stability. But here's the part that surprises most people. Taxation on Social Security is not intuitive at all. Your Social Security benefits are not taxed or not taxed based on the amount you are claiming. It is your other income that decides how much of your Social Security becomes taxable. Let me say that again, because it is critical. It is your other income that determines how much of your Social Security income will be taxable. That is exactly why the order that you turn things on matters so much. Your third paycheck is a pension if you have one. Not a lot of people get pensions anymore, but some people do. If you have one, it is usually a fixed, predictable payment. For many retirees, it starts when you retire or at a certain age defined by the rules of your pension program, and you often do not have much control over the timing. Most pensions are taxable as ordinary income. The key thing to remember about a pension is that it reduces your flexibility because it fills up your taxable income floor. Even before you touch your 401k, your pension may already be stacking taxable income on the table. So when people retire, what do they naturally do? They often take what feels like the safe and logical sequence. They claim Social Security early because it feels like a guaranteed paycheck. Then they let their 401k sit and grow because they have heard people say, do not touch it. Let it keep growing tax deferred. And the pension starts whenever it starts because they do not have any choice in that. That sequence sounds responsible. It sounds conservative. And for some people, it actually is fine. But for a lot of people, it can trigger a cascade of extra taxes and higher Medicare premiums that they never saw coming. Let me explain the 3 traps, because once you understand these potential pitfalls, the right order becomes very clear. The first trap is the big one, and it is called the Social Security tax torpedo. The simplest way to understand this is that sometimes each extra dollar you withdraw does not just get taxed once. It can cause more of your Social Security to become taxable too. So you pull money out of your 401k to live your life, and the IRS quietly says, great, now we are going to tax more of your Social Security benefit as well. That is why your taxable income can jump way more than your actual withdrawal. Here is a plain example. Let us say you are right near the threshold where more of your Social Security income becomes taxable. You decide to withdraw an extra $2,000 from your 401k for a vacation or a car repair or helping out a family member. That $2,000 does not just show up as $2,000 more taxable income. It can pull additional Social Security dollars onto your tax return. So now you are paying taxes on your withdrawal and taxes on more of your Social Security too. That is the torpedo effect. Your effective tax rate on that $2,000 can be shockingly high because it is not just one tax hit, it is a 2-part hit. The second trap is Medicare ERM-AA. This one is sneaky because it is delayed. ERM-AA is basically a surcharge that raises your Medicare premiums when your income crosses certain thresholds. And here is the key thing to know. It is based on your income from 2 years ago, not your current income. So you can have a big income year with a large 401k withdrawal or a Roth conversion or a capital gain, and you will not feel the pain immediately. Then 2 years later, you get the surprise, and not the good kind. Higher Part B premiums and potentially higher Part D premiums for the full year. It is like the IRS and Medicare teamed up for a delayed punch to the gut. The third trap is the net investment income tax, which is an extra 3.8% that can kick in for higher income situations. Most retirees will not deal with this one, but if you have meaningful investment income and you create a spike in your adjusted gross income, that spike can expose more of your investment income to that 3.8% layer. The point is not to scare you with the tax code. The tax code is what it is. But the point is to understand how these layers stack. When regular income taxes, Social Security taxation, and Medicare surcharges all stack together, you can end up paying way more than you expected, all because you pulled the right money from the wrong place at the wrong time. That brings us back to the main question. How does $20,000 turn into something that looks like $37,000? It is not that you get taxed at 85% of your withdrawal. It is that the withdrawal can cause a big chunk of your Social Security benefits to become taxable too. So the tax return shows a bigger number than the withdrawal you made, and people feel like they are being taxed on money they did not even receive. That is what creates phantom taxable income. So how do you fix this? Here is the default best order for many retirees stated in plain, simple terms. First, use the most flexible money first. Delay Social Security if you can, and use Roth money later to control your taxes while treating your pension as the baseline that you plan around. That sounds simple, but it flips the script on what most people naturally do. In many cases, that means this. In the years right after you retire, especially if you retire before you start claiming Social Security, you may want to live off cash, taxable brokerage withdrawals, and strategic 401k withdrawals. Why? Because every dollar you pull from your 401k before you claim Social Security cannot trigger the Social Security tax torpedo. Let me repeat that. Every dollar you withdraw before you claim Social Security cannot trigger the torpedo because you have not turned on Social Security yet. It is as simple as that. You still pay taxes on the 401k withdrawal, but you are not accidentally dragging your Social Security benefits onto your tax return. That is a huge difference. And if you have Roth money or you can build Roth money through conversions, this gets even more powerful. In those control years, you can sometimes do Roth conversions at tax rates that are temporarily lower than what you will face later when you are required to take out more money. When you move money into a Roth, you are creating a future bucket that can help you control your taxable income much later in retirement, especially after Social Security and a pension both kick in. Here is the mindset that ties all of this together, because this is where people get it wrong. Your goal is not to pay the least tax this year. Your goal is to avoid a decade-long cascade of taxes. Retirement is not one tax year. Retirement is the long game. You are trying to protect your flexibility so that you can spend what you want when you want without triggering unnecessary penalties or premium increases or surprise tax bombs. Think of retirement income as a two-phase process. Phase one is the control years. That is typically the window after you retire, but before Social Security is turned on, and sometimes before a pension starts, and often before you are fully into Medicare. In those years, your income can be lower than it will be later, which means you have more room to choose where income comes from and how it shows up on your tax return. Phase two is when you turn on the guaranteed paychecks. That is when Social Security is running and your pension is running if you have one, and you are using other accounts to fill in the gaps efficiently. Now, let me be clear about the nuance here, because this is not universal advice. Everybody's situation is completely different. Some people should claim Social Security earlier. If you have health issues, or your 401k is small, or you need the income right now, or you are supporting someone else, or if you are divorced or widowed and the benefit strategy changes, then claiming Social Security earlier might be the right move for you. The point is not that everyone should delay Social Security. The point is to be intentional about the order, because the wrong order can be quite expensive. There is one more concept that helps people make this real, and it is called the conversion window. If you retire before Social Security and before a pension starts, there may be a narrow window where your tax bracket is temporarily lower. That is when Roth conversions can make a lot of sense because you are deliberately paying tax at a known rate now to reduce taxes later, reduce future required minimum distributions, and create a tax-free bucket that you can use to manage your income for the rest of your life. But I want to say this loud and clear. Do not let the tax tail wag the dog. Too many people are obsessed with paying the smallest amount of taxes, and sometimes that obsession ruins the retirement they actually wanted. Do not sacrifice your lifestyle just to win on a tax spreadsheet. Sometimes it is just better to pay the taxes. Start with the retirement you want and then optimize around it. Let me give you a simple decision framework you can use. First, ask yourself, do you have a pension? If you do, that pension creates a taxable baseline and reduces your flexibility because it shows up as income no matter what you do. Your planning window may be narrower, and your best order might be more about controlling your 401k withdrawals and being careful around Medicare thresholds. If you do not have a pension, you usually have more flexibility, which makes it easier to delay Social Security and manage your tax brackets. Second, ask yourself, are you retiring before age 65? If you are, then health insurance becomes a major factor. If you're using ACA coverage, your income level impacts subsidies, and a big withdrawal or conversion can have consequences that have nothing to do with your tax returns. This is one of the most overlooked issues in early retirement planning. Third, ask yourself, can you cover your spending without claiming Social Security immediately? If yes, then delaying Social Security becomes a strategic option. You can use controlled withdrawals from cash, taxable accounts, and your 401k to fund your life while avoiding the torpedo effect. If the answer is no and you need the income, then claiming earlier might be the right move, and there is nothing wrong with that. Stability comes first, and optimization comes second. Fourth, ask yourself, are you near an IRMA threshold? If you are close, then avoid accidental income spikes. A large one-time conversion or withdrawal can raise your Medicare premiums 2 years later. Know where you stand so you do not trip over a line you did not even know existed. The bottom line is this. The right order is not about maximizing one account. It is about protecting your freedom so you can keep more of what you earned and spend it on the retirement you actually want. A lot of retirement stress comes from not knowing what is going to happen when you pull the lever. Make the sequence intentional, avoid unnecessary cascades, and keep your options open as long as you can. If this information was helpful, make sure you are subscribed to this channel for more Social Security and retirement updates. Share this video with anyone you know who is approaching retirement, because understanding these tax traps before you retire can save thousands of dollars over the course of your retirement. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next update.